Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May I introduce Thierry Dreyfus. We're very privileged to have him with us today because it's not something you do regularly. Thierry works with light, as we've seen, but often likes to stay in the shadows and let the work speak for itself. And what a body of work, and we've just seen a snippet there. That's actually only a snippet of your work within the fashion realm. Your work also covers many other areas, but it dawned on me in your relatively short career, how many fashion shows have you produced, lit, designed?
3,000 to 4,000.
That's a lot.
Very, very short time working.
And what are the, we've talked in the past, the benefits as an artist, a designer and artist, working within that fashion area, high pressure, speed, but what are the benefits for you as an artist?
I don't think I'm an artist. I think I'm an artisan first, which is a very big difference. When you design an object and you go to a manufacturer and to an industry, to be able to have your object really finalized after prototyping, etc., it takes 3 years when you're lucky. When you belong to a gallery or when you want to an art gallery and you want to have an exhibition of your work or in a museum, it takes 5 to 7 years. If I can go working with architects, lighting a building, or it takes also between 3 and 7 years. Here, from the moment we have a kind of a aesthetic or emotional brief to the moment you build it, is from 3 months to 4 days. So the benefit is double for me. The first, I don't like to wait really, so it's very helpful to design, make it in such a short time.
So this is the moment from the initial brief from the designer or creative director. It could be as short as 4 days and sometimes 3 months.
Yeah, it's from 3 months, 2 months and a half, 3 months to 4 days. And the second is to give a certain suppleness in your head to be able to imagine and draw something that you will not do for you, but you will do for this or that brand. Which is also something very interesting because it helped to experiment a lot. And not only experiment in a studio, but experiment in real scale. It was like 400 to 3,000, 4,000 people here around, and images. And the third is, by this experimentation, you learn a lot of what you would like to do, and all of what you like to do too. So it appears that when you do your own work with your own object, etc., it's really something which is the result of all these experiences.
So it's a liberation, in a sense, as you're working for a client?
Not so kind. The liberation is mostly the shortest time to be able to see. It's just there is no compromise on none of them, but it's more complementarity. Can you say that?
Yes, you can, in any language. And is there any regret for 3 months' work, an intense work, and something you're very proud of, I would imagine, in most cases? It's over within 7 minutes, 10 minutes, a fashion show, then gone?
Yes and no. That would open the door to the responsibility of the architect making buildings which have nothing to do in certain cities and just making their own signature, who arrive to a kind of chaos in certain cities. So here you'll have the same question. On my side, so many photos, so many films stays, and then it's part of a DNA of a brand another day. And you can, when you work, see the evolution of all these shows the way we worked. And it is a display in the campaign, in the display of the shops, and even in the shop we design. For some designers, everything is I would say, focus on their specific emotional marketing way, an image.
Well, let's talk about some of your other work, because only a small part of your work is fashion. It looked like a lot of your work, that video. But designing architecture, interior and exterior, and historic buildings. And this particular project was fascinating. Tell us, the Grand Palais.
The story, to be short, is like in 2005, in June, I received a call from the French Ministry of Culture office asking if I accept to bid inside of 40 light artists worldwide for the reopening of the Grand Palais. We have been closed for 17 years. So I didn't want to make a bid. And my girlfriend, who became after my wife and the mother of my kids, tell me to have to do that. So
you don't say no to Thierry's
no
wife.
one will say that when your girlfriend tell you you fucking have to do that. What you do, you do it, right? So I've done it, and by kind of hazard, I've been chosen. So I was in front of this enormous, because the Grand Palais, it's the only glass roof building stays on. The biggest one was English, now been destroyed in the last World War. Yeah, by Winston Churchill, because it was a very target for.
The English are always first ahead of the French.
Sorry?
Nothing. Carry on.
I'm Swiss, I don't care. So this was, and when you begin to study the building, and we are saying, wow, this amazing glass roof. But the glass roof was not made at all to be sewn. It was made to be covered under by a fabric to diffuse the light coming directly by the sun. And this room was made to have exhibition of sculpture, monumental sculpture. So basically, based on that, I thought, well, the best way is to try to recreate this alley with mirrors, huge mirrors. I think I made almost 1,000 drawings of the angle of the mirror to try an angle where people cannot even see them, or they have to fall on the mirrors. So the people were walking and they see the reflection of the light in the ceiling day and night. And there was a friend artist of mine who created a sound installation who was going from one side to the other side of the Grand Palais. And basically, we asked to have the globes of Coronelli, which was the globes of the sky and the earth, have been drawn when Louis XIV was born. So you have the way they saw the earth and the way they saw the sky. And they were suspended by crane with mirrors. And so we had like more than 500,000 people in 2 weeks.
Fantastic. Moving on to...
It was free entrance.
Free entrance, very important. Moving on to another building that comes with no heritage or pressure at all, Notre Dame. Now, I believe you are the only person to have lit Notre Dame from the inside.
We're going to put on the side the concept itself to light a cathedral from inside. The goal was also for the people to be able to see the glass windows that you almost never see, only when you're inside, when the sun is in a good direction, etc., by the inside. And this light was breathing very slowly. What I mean by breathing is going for almost 10% the power to 100% the power in the rhythm of a breathing, which is not a regular rhythm. And so the city allowed me to switch off all the lights. Security-wise, it won't be possible now, but all around and in the building. So the only light stays was this glass roof. People coming inside were listening to also piano music composed by Henry Strix. And it was this moment of rediscovering a building that come from the idea of when you have an historical building and when you light it as the way you can see during the day as during the night, it's like you were fighting with the sun. Sun, moving, cloud, season. You can't fight with that. Every time it's a bit different. But then, all the people, pedestrian and people living around this building, whatever building it is, just begin to forget it. Myself, I drive on my bike in front of Notre Dame, I don't take care of it, it's just a piece of my habit. But doing that way, people were staying and say, oh, I never saw it that way. So, and I think that the way to light a building, a historical building, must be related to this, what we call generosity of, why am I doing it? Am I doing it to put my name on it, or am I doing it for the people who discover it? Funnel.
We're going to have to move a little bit quicker, Thierry, because we want to have more anecdotes. Modern architecture.
52nd Street,
and one of your lamps.
The building on the left, light, the lamps in the
Not that quick.
on the right, inspired by. Next.
Hospitality. Silencio.
Yeah, Paris, David Lynch bar. Well, you have to go and have a drink.
The most incredible nightclub in Paris.
Next.
Next, we don't have a slide, but we have an anecdote.
Good.
A story you told me a few weeks ago about working with Azzedine Alaïa. Not only for his fashion shows, but for his office. And this is interesting, how a fashion designer sees work.
Yeah, Azzedine died some month ago. Azzedine was a dear friend and mostly one of the only still alive, hyper-talented, we call it fashion designer, but it's even more than that. Just to see his hands, you would have understood how he could do anything from the beginning to the end. End of the day, because of his way of living and his passion, he brings a lot of the best studio craft people from all of the different houses of couture inside his studio. And so these people were working almost 20 hours a day or 18 hours a day or even more, mostly because Azzedine never respected the rhythm of the fashion world. When he wanted to make a collection, he began to make a collection. When he wanted to show it, he don't want to show it, whatever. So he took a new building, and I was thinking that these people should have the same impression in a way that when you go in a casino. I mean, even if you have the windows, you don't have to have the feeling that you know how long you're working, you know, that's the goal. So I went with, which was almost 10 years ago, a bit less, I went with the people of Philips in Paris and said, I want some kind of fluorescent tubes, some are daylight, some are tungsten to mix, but also connected by the sensor outside, and we fix a level of light. And when the light was moving outside, in a way of moving, not slowly like this, like clouds, but very moving, then the light inside was evaluating to create always the same level in light inside for the people working. Cannot see that there's fucking 4 hours, they're still working on the same thing. So that was a way of making light.
They're making people work harder. Well, Thierry, we could talk for hours, but maybe we shall later. No. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Thierry Dreyfus, a master of light. Thank you, sir.
Au revoir, Dr.